NFL fans, welcome back to a brand new episode of the J All Day Show. Today, we're talking about Week 5 Survivor Pool. I want to preview all the games for you guys and let you know some of the games I'm potentially targeting for Week 5. I have 2 entries left. There's only 24 people as of today, as we go into Monday Night Football, left in my pool. We'll find out tomorrow how many people got eliminated this week. We got through with 2 out of our 3. We almost went 3 for 3 last week, but the Jets screwed us by missing that kick to win the game. All they got to do is make the kick. Kickers make kicks. You win games. Even though Aaron Rodgers and the Jets somehow found a way to lose to a team that only had 60 passing yards the entire game. Absolutely blows my mind. The Jets should be ashamed of themselves. All right, let's get into these games. All right, everyone, some of my guidelines, I don't like division games at all, and I really want to stay away from most road games unless the home team is an absolute dumpster fire, right? So the first game of the week, Thursday night, short weeks, I want to avoid them if possible too. Buccaneers at the Falcons. I do think the Buccaneers win this game. The Atlanta Falcons aren't very good in my opinion, but I would stay away from this game. Division game, short week, a lot of red flags. This game could go either way, in my opinion. I don't like this game. Kicking off the Sunday slate, it's the Jets at the Vikings. Remember, this game is in London, so there is no real home field advantage for this game, but I look for the Minnesota Vikings to dominate. If the Jets are losing to the Broncos, I know the weather was really crappy and it was raining. That was an oversight on my part, so that is the importance of you got to check the weather the Saturday or Friday before these games. So if you have to switch up your lineup, you do. I paid the price. I forgot to look. The weather's been pretty good all year long, so it was just a complete oversight on my part. If it was, in hindsight, with that crazy rain, I probably would have avoided that game. But I like the Vikings in this spot. I don't know if I'm in for them on Survivor or not. We'll have to see. On my members only video on Friday, I release all my Survivor picks to my members. Cleveland Browns at the Washington Commanders. I like the Commanders in this spot. The Browns just don't look good. The defense is banged up. It used to be a pretty good defense, but now they're on the field like 90% of games. So that wear and tear has taken effect on this defense. And the Commanders look hot right now. Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury are doing a great job with that team. The defense is still a little suspect, so I would be careful betting on them. But Jaden Daniels looks great. If Myles Garrett is still kind of banged up, I like the Commanders in this spot. Panthers at the Bears. I actually like the Panthers in this game. But for Survivor, I don't want anything to do with this. We don't know what Bears team we're going to get. They barely beat a beat-up Rams team last week. The Panthers put in another good performance against the Bengals. That was a really close game. Came down to the wire. They ended up losing. But the Panthers are in play. The Bears, I don't know. I don't believe in the Bears. I don't like their coaching staff at all whatsoever. Then we have the Colts on the road versus the Jaguars. The Jaguars are 0-4. They're not a very good football team, but the Colts are going to be without Anthony Richardson, it looks like. We'll have to keep an eye on the injury report. He was removed from the game early on Sunday with a hip injury. Joe Flacco came in and actually played pretty well and secured that victory over a very good Steelers team. So I'm leaning towards the Colts, but the Jaguars, they got to win sometime, right? I don't know. Who knows? Buffalo Bills at the Texans. I thought the Bills were the cream of the crop, and then they got their brakes blown off of them on Monday night. They didn't show up for that game. They came out flat, and they paid for it. They had a bad game plan against the Baltimore Ravens, and they just ran the ball down their throat. Lamar Jackson only threw 18 passes. Maybe you should stack the box and force Lamar Jackson to throw a little bit more. That's just a guess, Buffalo Bills fans. But they play the Texans. The Texans are pretty good at home, but the Texans are one of the most penalized teams in the NFL. Another 12 penalties again last week. They almost blew it against the Jaguars, but they won. They got us through another week, thank God. But I'm not betting on this game at all whatsoever. The next game on the slate, Baltimore Ravens coming off a big win at home against the Bills, go on the road. Division game versus the Bengals. I think the Ravens probably win this game. The line only being 2.5. The Ravens at minus 155 is an interesting bet for me. I expect that line to creep up. So if you want to get in early on these odds, the Ravens at minus 155, I like that. I don't know how the Bengals defense stops this rushing attack. And their offense has looked okay so far. Not great, not terrible. I like the Ravens in this spot. I'm definitely curious about this game. I'm circling on my slate. Dolphins, Patriots. It's a division game. -1 spread. I'm out on this game. I don't want anything to do with it. We'll see how Huntley looks tonight for the Dolphins on Monday Night Football, but we'll have to see. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out. The Patriots offense is very inept, and the defense is, slightly above mediocre. Arizona Cardinals are coming back down to earth. They're on the road versus the 49ers, who are getting healthy. Debo and Kittle both played in that game. Kittle made an amazing catch, and you just see what a different team the 49ers are when Debo and Kittle are in the lineup. I like the 49ers in this spot. It is a division game, but they are at home, so that kind of counters that a little bit. I'm definitely circling this game for sure. Raiders at the Broncos, another division game that I want nothing to do with. I don't like this spot. The Raiders, I don't know who the Raiders are. We'll have to see if Crosby and Devontae Adams are playing in this game to really kind of gauge where we're at. But the Broncos are winning tough, dirty, low-scoring football games. Next up, we got the Green Bay Packers on the road going to LA. The Rams are just a banged-up team on the offensive line. No real weapons on the outside at all whatsoever. Luckily, Kyron Williams has been balling out the running back, but I don't think that's going to be enough. The Packers almost came back and beat the Vikings last week. I expect them to win this game. I'm definitely thinking about a bet on the Packers this week for Survivor. I like them in this spot. The next game is one game that I'm really circling in this week's slate. It's the Seattle Seahawks at home versus the Giants. Malik Neighbors, he's in concussion protocol. It was from a Thursday night game, so we'll have to see if he's going to play in Week 5. If no Malik Neighbors, I am 100% using one of my lineups on the Seahawks. Let's see how the Seahawks look tonight against one of the better teams in the NFC, the Detroit Lions. Cowboys at the Steelers. I like the Steelers to win this game because the Dallas Cowboys are extremely banged up. Lawrence is out 6 to 8 weeks, they said, something like that. Micah Parsons is dealing with an injury. The defense is not very good, but we saw when Justin Fields turns the football over with those fumbles, the Steelers lose. And that's what happened last week versus the Colts. So I'm not in on this game for Survivor. And then Monday Night Football, the Saints at the Chiefs. This line was already at 5.5. Yesterday it came down to 5. That's because the Chiefs are super banged up. Pacheco on IR. Rashee Rice, looks like he tore his ACL. He's on IR. Probably done for the year, guys. So that offense is going to have... They're going to struggle moving the football for the foreseeable future. Travis Kelce looks a little bit old. I don't think Xavier Worthy's the guy to be a possession receiver. He's more of a deep threat and a gadget guy, in my opinion. I think the Saints cover this spread. I think the Saints might win by upset as well. I might get a bet in early at this plus 195 line. I like the Saints. Survivor, I'm out on this game. All right, NFL fans, those are my thoughts for Week 5 for Survivor. That's my little preview. For my members, I release my picks each and every Friday. We got 2 entries left, less than 25 people. I'll do a little update for my members and let you guys know how many people are left after the Monday night game. So these are my initial thoughts. I like the Ravens. I like the 49ers. I like the Seahawks. And maybe the Packers. So they're the 4 teams I'm kind of circling. We'll have to see. Let me know in the comments below, what teams do you like in your Survivor pool in Week 5? I know a lot of people are out of their Survivor pools. It's been a crazy year. I expect that craziness to continue. But with the buys this week, remember there's 4 teams on the buys. It's the Titans, the Eagles, the Chargers, and the Lions, I think, are the teams that are on the bye this week. So make sure you take that into consideration when you're making your picks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.